What the fuck is good? It's Boo. How we doing, babes? So today we got a very extra interesting reaction to react to. This is the Hello Kitty murder by the YouTube channel Dire Trip. So I'm excited for this. Not really excited because it's a freaking murder and that's very sad and very disgusting and very traumatic. But I've seen picture of like the Hello Kitty thing. I'm not gonna go into too much detail because seen and heard a little bit about it, not the full complete thing. So this will be very scary. So let's get scared together, shall we? All right, let's go.
In one of the most infamous crimes to ever come out of Hong Kong,
Just right off the bat, very haunting image. I'm pretty sure this is our victim. God bless her soul.
a woman is held captive, severely mistreated, and eventually murdered.
You see, this is the picture that I saw, and with like just the Hello Kitty murder, like very limited description, and it scared the fuck out of me because what the fuck?
What made this case so infamous is how they
What the fuck?
treated her after the fact. This is the story of a woman out in Hong Kong named Fan Man Yi. Fan did not have the best life, to say the least.
First off, let's say our condolences to Fan Man Yi. I hope I said that correctly. We're being serious here because this is a real person. Honestly, with cases like this, with true crime, you are watching it. Like for me, I watch it as, I guess you could say, entertainment, which, like a TV show or something. I'm always watching true crime on YouTube, but we often tend to forget these are real motherfucking people, real motherfucking stories, and this shit is sad, disturbing, and scary as fuck.
She was abandoned in her childhood, forcing her to grow up in an orphanage. However, this would only be until she reached the age of 15, as that orphanage had an age limit in place. Given that she was never adopted and had no place to live, she soon became homeless. Soon after that, she became addicted to drugs. Fan ended up having to resort to prostitution, working at a brothel to get by and even feed herself. When Fan Man Yi was in her early 20s, she was able to get a job as a dancer at the Empress Karaoke nightclub. She eventually fell for one of her clients, who was unfortunately another drug addict who only ended up enabling her. Despite this, they got married in 1996. Her husband, however, soon began mistreating her. Still, though, she stayed with the man, and they actually had 2 sons together over the next couple of years. Their fighting only worsened, though. The neighbors would often wake up to not only the sounds of the children screaming, but the sounds of the couple themselves screaming as well, as they argued all throughout the night.
Already just horrible, horrible abuse in any form, but especially domestic abuse in front of the kids, horrible. And I hope anyone that might have gone through that or is going through that, I wish you well, because that is no bueno, no fun.
By early 1997, Fan had already started working as a prostitute again out at a brothel called the Romance Villa in Kowloon. After working there for a while, she ended up meeting a 34-year-old man named Chan Man Lok. Chan was said to have been a wealthy socialite well known throughout the area. Fan was immediately drawn to him, as she was a prostitute who was addicted to drugs, and he was a drug dealer that also worked as a pimp.
That's a recipe for disaster right there, unfortunately.
Sessions where they would binge crystal meth, or ice, which he supplied. It wasn't too long before Fan was integrated into Chan's inner circle. She was there along with several of his little underlings, his henchmen, if you want to call them that. Chan Man Lok was a member of the Triads, a large Chinese organized crime syndicate. He wasn't someone to be messed with. Hell, he wasn't even someone you should associate with for your own safety. However, Fan got too comfortable around him regardless. One night, during one of their binges, she stole his wallet, gaining the equivalent of about 4,000 US dollars.
No.
That would prove to be the biggest mistake of her life. Chan found out about this and was furious. She agreed to pay him back with $4,000 that she was to earn from her work. He wasn't happy with this, though, and demanded $10,000 of interest. Fan stated that she would need
$10,000 of interest. That's insane. Like, I understand she did what she did, but come on, man. Come on. You really think, like, that's gonna be easy for her?
Need a good amount of time to pay that interest off fully. Chum Unlock was furious about his stolen money. It wasn't even about the money, it was the fact that Fan even had the audacity to steal from him in the first place. In March of 1999,
He looked completely different. Was that another guy or was that still the same guy? I don't know.
he got two of his men to kidnap Fan and take her back to his
This motherfucker right here looks scary as hell. Sorry, I'm not judging. He just gives off a very creepy vibe.
apartment on Granville Road.
All of
It
them.
was a massive apartment consisting of 5 bedrooms and was all decked out in Hello Kitty merch for some reason. Hello Kitty was on the curtains, on the bed sheets, adorning the walls,
Weird.
and there were even plushies all over.
Oh my gosh, I'm so annoying, but I would love that. I really would, but why do they got it like that? That's very eerie. That's very disturbing. I mean, hey, maybe they're all Hello Kitty fans.
Over the place. Chen planned to pimp Fan out and force her to work non-stop until her debt to him was fully paid off.
Ugh.
There simply wasn't any way that she could keep up with the constantly spiking increase to the debt. So, in addition to making her work even more, the gang started taking their frustrations out on her. They enjoyed themselves far too much while doing so, often laughing at her pain. This was when things got really out of hand, and you may be thinking it's already out of hand, and you would
That's what I was just about to say. I would be like, this shit is already out of hand. First off, all of those guys, they're not human. That is demon energy. Because how the fuck can you torture another human and be happy about it? Especially in a group, it's like, damn, do not one of you think, hey, this is not okay. But then again, you're in a powerful, scary group of all these men, and who's really gonna say anything? Because then you might be the next target. So very sad.
absolutely be right, but it's about to get much, much worse. The group that tortured Fan
Scary.
consisted of Chanman Law,
Sorry.
the leader, Leung Wai Lun,
Oh my God.
a subordinate gangster
Can't
of
even
his
look.
who is said to have been either 19 or 21, and Leung Xing Cho, age 26, another one of his underlings. But there was soon one new member to that group.
Wait.
a
I'm sorry. How old were
14-year-old
they?
minor. The group that tortured Fan consisted of Chanman Lok, the leader, Leung Wai Lung,
Oh.
a subordinate gangster of his who is said to have been either 19 or 21,
Scary.
and Leung Xing Cho, age 26, another one of his underlings. But there was soon one new member to that group, a 14-year-old minor named Ah Fong. She, although she had been reported to be one of the girlfriends of one of his underlings, ended up being a victim of Chan himself as he groomed her more and more over time. This girl, though, despite being very young and obviously manipulated, was ice cold herself. She very much enjoyed helping the group to mistreat Fan.
Ugh.
She would even giggle and laugh hysterically while doing so.
Sick
She
little
was
bitch.
always ready and willing to join in. The group, unsatisfied at the amount
If that's not a motherfucking what's it called, girl, then I don't know what is. Pick me. Little bitch.
of money Fan was bringing in, continued to mistreat her more and more. They tied her up, punched her, and kicked her all over. They would force themselves on her repeatedly, as much as they wanted. They even forced her to eat excrement.
Oh my god.
They started hitting her with metal bars, hit her and stabbed her with kitchen utensils, smashed pieces of furniture over her,
Oh my
and even tied
gosh.
her up in a standing position to use her as a punching bag. It got to the point that, one day alone, she ended up getting kicked in the head about 50 times. It has been said that Fan even got pregnant around this time, but the mistreatment continued regardless. When she was wounded, barely able to even move, the group would rub spices into her open wounds to further ensure that she wouldn't be running away or
What the
moving much at all.
First off, how would she be running away? You kicking her 50 times in the head a day and stabbing her with kitchen utensils. Like, obviously, she's scared for her life. And what energy, mental, physical energy does she have to run away? You little fucking stupid fucks. I hate them. I hate them so much.
They would burn her legs with hot candle wax repeatedly and even melt plastic over
Oh my
her legs.
gosh.
She was then forced to consume even more urine and excrement. The group would then force her to smile and say that she enjoyed all of these things. If she refused, they would just mistreat her even worse, getting even harsher with their punishments. All throughout this time, Fan's husband and kids wondered where she even went.
Oh my
They were
gosh.
left with nothing to do but worry about her and hope that she would come home. The group started getting more and more creative, utilizing anything they could find throughout the apartment that could possibly inflict pain, that could be used as a weapon. They would set plastic straws on fire and press them against the bottom of her
Ugh.
feet until they were covered in painful burns and blisters. They would then hit her in the feet with sticks and whatever else they could find. All throughout this, they would throw chili oil onto her wounds and dump
My
oyster sauce onto
God.
her face. They then made her drink the combination of oils afterwards. It was a game they played. If she didn't pretend to be happy, then they would beat her harder. They told her to smile while they burned her.
Oh
It
wow.
was a fun atmosphere, said Awfong.
Afang, how the fuck you say your name? Mm. I hope you got what you got, cause what the fuck?
It got to the point where they started using Fan as a toilet, directly urinating onto her face, and if she spat any of it out, she was severely punished. Ah Fong once even defecated into a shoebox and forced Fan to eat it,
Oh my
which she thought was
gosh.
hilarious.
Oops.
The group started wrapping her in electrical wires and hanging her from a hook on the ceiling. They would then mistreat her in any way that they wanted,
Dude, like,
usually hitting her with
who
iron
thinks of
bars
this?
and leave her there overnight. Eventually, they stopped feeding her entirely. The bodily
Oh, stop feeding her poop. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what the fuck?
fluids they would subject her to became her only form of sustenance.
Oh.
They continued to pack her wounds with dirt, spices, salt, and really anything else
Why?
they could find to make sure that she never felt
Why?
any sort of relief. Say, after seeing the shape she was in, potential clients started refusing her services.
Of course,
She
like,
was no
come
longer
on.
pulling in any money
It's crazy. Those potential clients are just still doing nothing. But then again, they're probably scared of, the people that's in charge. So, whatever.
for the group. Fan would lie on the floor, starving, drifting in and out of consciousness while the group hung out and watched TV or played video games. She was broken, and playing with her wasn't so much fun after that.
Oh,
But
wow.
we carried on anyway. There wasn't really anything else to do, said Ah Fong.
Hey, Afang, maybe fucking let her go? Because what the fuck?
Ah Fong would gladly participate in any of the horrible things the group did to Fan, enjoying it all the way, admittedly laughing at everything that happened to her. It was for fun, she later said. The full
Fun.
details of what Ah Fong did herself have never been revealed, but it's undoubtedly a very long list, even by her own admission. One night, the group decided to go out for some drinks. To make sure that Fan couldn't escape, they did what they usually did. They tied her up and threw her onto the bathroom floor, locking the door behind them. This sort of mistreatment could only go on for so long. After about a month of this, on April 15th of 1999, Fan finally succumbed to her wounds and passed away, cold, alone, and in pain while her
Rest in peace. So sorry they had to freaking deal with all of that hell. Hopefully her soul found peace. That's horrible.
captors were out of the house. After a few days, the group came back to the apartment. Ah Fong stated that she had to use the restroom. When she went into the restroom, she found Fan deceased on the floor. The men began to discuss amongst themselves. They needed a way to get rid of the body, but they couldn't decide on which method would be best. They even argued about what likely caused her death, obliviously, most of them believing that it was probably an overdose that did her in. Most experts agree, though, as you can assume, that it was more likely the actual injuries that led to her death. So, deciding to put a pin in it for now, they decided to go to the arcade and play some video games, all while Fan laid in the bathroom. After a while, they came back home, went to sleep, and did nothing about the problem. The next day, while completely high, Chan came to a conclusion. He gathered up his little posse and told them now she must be destroyed. They put her into the bathtub and got to work with a handsaw.
Oh my
Once
gosh.
the body was divided up into more manageable portions, they cooked each piece to prevent further
What
decay
the
and to get rid of some.
That is no words, no words. Whenever a case comes to dismembering and then on top of that cooking, which this is surprisingly not the first case I've heard where they fucking cook the victim. Like, I just, mm.
Of the smell, boiling the pieces on the stove. Chan woke up Ah Fong, who was sleeping, and waved a bag of guts in front of her. He told her to go put them into some hot water to stop them from smelling. Leong Xing Cho was in the middle of boiling the head himself and called Ah Fong over to come and look at it. She said that she was scared and didn't want to look, but he said, "It's okay, just pretend you're watching TV." She decided to give it a peek and decided that he was right. It looked like something out of a horror movie. Given that this had already taken 10 hours, the group started getting pretty hungry. How they could even get an appetite while
Exactly.
all of this is going on is maybe one of the biggest mysteries about this case,
Yeah.
if you ask me. While boiling Fan's head in a pot, stirring it ever so often,
Ugh.
they decided to throw some noodles onto the adjacent burner.
No.
They used the same spoon to stir their soup as they did to stir the head, alternating.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. That is top tier. But you're not even a human, guys. You guys aren't human.
Between the two. By the time their meal was over, the head was now nothing but bone. They decided to take the skull and sew it into the head of one of their Hello Kitty plushies.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is very disturbing. And gonna be looking at Hello Kitty's a little bit strange for a little bit. Thanks a lot.
Large mermaid one. This is obviously where the name of the case comes from. It's still unknown why they even decided to go through the trouble of doing this. Given how drug-fueled the whole operation was, it's safe to say that if there even was a reason, it might not make a lot of sense now.
Period.
For unknown reasons, they decided to keep some other bits as well, namely a tooth and some organs. However, they disposed of the rest in the apartment complex as garbage. Things were quiet for about a month. It seemed that they had gotten away with all that they had done.
Psych!
That all changed 1 month later in May. Ah Fong made her way out to a local police station. She told the police that she was being haunted by a ghost, oddly enough.
That's right.
She told the police that this particular ghost had been tied up in electrical wire and murdered. The police, though, given that this was simply a ghost story, didn't take her very seriously at all. They brushed it off, assuming that she was just having nightmares or being silly. This was, however, until Ah Fong told them that she had played a part in the murder of this particular woman. This obviously changed things drastically. The police asked her for more details and eventually followed her out to where all the carnage took place, the apartment. This is where they discovered that her nightmares were very much indeed based in reality. Inside, she pointed them to the Hello Kitty mermaid doll, and
Oh my gosh.
inside they found the skull. The whole group was found, arrested, taken in, and taken to trial.
Yo.
Ah Fong, which likely isn't even her real name, by the way, it's likely a pseudonym given to her by the court system, decided to testify against the other members of the group. She told the police that she was Chan Man Lok's girlfriend, but she was also very likely one of his prostitutes as well. When asked why they had done all of this, she simply said, "I have a feeling it was for fun."
Oh, you got a feeling, bitch? You got a feeling it was for fun? How about someone does that to you for fun?
This case quickly became a spectacle all throughout Hong Kong. Most citizens had never heard of a case coming anywhere near this magnitude before. Being a pretty safe modern city, they couldn't imagine something so sinister going on so close by. One element of this case that fascinated them was the terrifying juxtaposition of one of the most grisly crimes they'd ever heard of meeting with one of the cutest icons they could think of.
Yeah.
The mixture of horror and innocence stood out to a good amount of people.
Yeah, because that's sick.
The trial would go on to last for 6 months. Ah Fong went on to testify in exchange for complete immunity.
I hope they feel so embarrassed. Those pictures looked like they were very, like, shameful. But they're probably only shameful because they got caught and people were realizing, what the fuck? You guys are disgusting, weird, vile creatures.
To placate Fan's ghost and finally get some peace, she spilled all the gritty details. Every single disgusting detail of every single disturbing thing that the group did. She said that this was in order to relieve her guilt and stop the haunting. During the trial,
I'm sorry I'm stopping so much. This is just a very intriguing case, but I hope that bitch never gets stopped being haunted. So
material evidence relating to the case was presented to the courtroom. This included the refrigerator where the body was kept, the pots used in the cooking, and the actual skull itself. It has been said that the stench radiated throughout the entire courtroom.
ugh.
Psychiatrists evaluated the three men, who went on to describe them to the courts as being completely remorseless.
I bet.
There was one massive roadblock to the case, though. Given the way that Fun's body ended up, there wasn't any clear, for sure reason to find out what actually had happened to her. They couldn't come up with a concrete cause of death given the evidence that they had to go off of. It could have been from the abuse, or it could have actually been due to an overdose. As a result, the men weren't convicted of murder, but instead of manslaughter. The jury
Wow.
had come to believe that they had indeed caused her death, but they couldn't agree on whether or not there was intent. They couldn't rule out
What? 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 No intent to murder after they did all that fucking torture to that poor woman. That I understand there's barely any evidence because how they disposed of her body, but come on, come on, come on.
that the men did intend to kill her, but they also couldn't rule out that they didn't. There was simply no way to know for sure.
I know for sure, just by hearing this and just by, your intuition, they were intending to kill her. They were never going to let that lady go, unfortunately. It was just a matter of time. And her time came. And, but really think about it. Were they really going to ever let her go? No. No.
Despite all of the doubts and the charges being reduced to manslaughter, the court justice, Peter Nguyen, was having none of it. In December of 2000, he sentenced the three to life
Question, I'm being serious. Do they still wear those judge wigs? I didn't know that was really a thing.
in prison. Sadly,
It's always so crazy looking at these pictures. I've just like come to a realization now is like these people in these pictures, obviously they probably know they're being taken at the time, but that's crazy. What, 25 years later, they're being used in a YouTube that they probably will never know. That is insane. Little thing in my mind that made it just burst. But yeah, that's insane. Let's continue.
this sentence did come with the possibility of parole.
Oh.
It wouldn't be for 20 years. though.
No.
Never in Hong Kong in recent years has a court heard of such cruelty, depravity,
That's why there should be no parole.
callousness, brutality, violence, and viciousness, he said. The public is entitled to protection from people such as you.
Period.
While if this had taken place in mainland China, all three would have likely been executed pretty swiftly. Hong Kong did not have a death penalty.
Honestly, okay, let's pick this little thing. So with cases like this or very crazy cases where people are tortured or killed very violently and there's a death penalty or like execution or life in prison, life sent away for life, I honestly really agree with sent away for life because I feel like, the execution is just the easy way out. I always say with crazy things, I wish that the the perpetrator, that's what it's called, correct? The perpetrator was tortured like how they did their victim, but obviously it's not humane, whatever. What they did was not humane. But yeah, I find like the death penalty in extreme cases is like you're just giving them the easy way out. Like, yeah, it's death, but it's like, come on. I feel like they need to live through the years being haunted by the images and memories of what they did to their victim. And they should live a long, miserable life. So,
Fan's husband came out and spoke of the
sometimes, whatever.
sentencing. It seems that he was satisfied with them getting life in prison.
Yes.
He did, though, end by saying, "But how can I ever forget?"
Of course.
Ah Fong was released, free of charges, into foster care.
Wow. That's crazy. That is insane. Foster care, because I remember, yeah, they said when she was 14, 15 years old. But still, like, that girl is not right in the head after experiencing all of that and partaking in most of that. They should at least, I don't know. I don't know.
It's currently unknown where she is now or how
Scary.
she turned out.
Probably
The
scary.
lawyers of the three men tried to appeal the case in 2003, but they had no luck.
Good.
The sentence was upheld. Those three monsters weren't going anywhere. In 2014, the courts finally handed Fun's skull, the only remaining evidence of her body, over to her family, who had it cremated.
Wow.
The apartment building, located at 31 Granville Road, Tsim Sha Tsui, Hong Kong, where the murder took place, was eventually demolished entirely in September of 2012.
Wow.
After several years, in 2016, it was rebuilt as a hotel that still exists to this day.
I wonder if they have some creepy energy there, because that is fucking scary.
The actual location where the murder took place is now, by some dark irony, a restaurant.
Wow.
20 years came and went, and in 2020 it seems that the trio never did get their parole, as there's no news out there of their release. That is, except for one of the men.
Ugh.
Leung-Shing Cho was actually released in April of 2014.
Wow.
It seems that his lawyer was able to appeal and convince the courts that there wasn't sufficient evidence.
Look at this. Look at my face. I did not want to hear that.
Him. As you might assume, it wasn't too long before he was on the police's radar again. Just recently, in January of 2022, while he was working as a waiter, he groped the chest of a female minor, only 10. And
send him back. Send him back, and for life this time, because obviously he's a danger to society. What the fuck?
Even more recently, he was sentenced to 12 months in prison for that.
Okay, well, send him away for good. Thank you.
So, as of the writing of this video, he is back in prison.
Good.
Time will tell if they end up seeing parole in the future.
No.
There ended up being a few movies released throughout the years that told the story of this case. One of them was called Human Pork Chop with, my God, have some tact.
Yeah, come on.
Another was called There's a Secret in My Soup. This case even became well enough known overseas that it was featured in an episode of Bones, an American crime drama.
Oh, wow.
To this very day, Bones, an American crime drama.
Okay.
To this very day, Fan Man-yi's memory is kept alive every year when citizens of Hong Kong celebrate her life on her birthday with a candlelight vigil in the center of the city.
That is very sweet.
Once again, thank you for watching my video.
Thank you. I did. I really did. Let's go ahead and do that.
Feel free to subscribe.
Yeah, already subscribed. All right, Dyer, thank you very, very much. That was very disturbingly entertaining. Such a horrible fucking case. And those men, those creatures, shall I say, that are still incarcerated need to stay. Okay, no parole. Especially for that one guy that got out and then fucking went back in because he's a fucking creep. Just let them stay. Stay and rot forever in there. Thank you. So yeah, that was the Hello Kitty murder in complete detail by Dyer Trip. Wow. Very stomach turning, very sad, and very insane to think that another human can inflict that type of pain and suffering on another human for very, minuscule thing. Like, yes, I understand she stole money, but she was trying as well to pay her debts and then just keep adding on to where eventually, how could she even pay off the debts is just, that's cruel. He knew what he was doing. They all knew what they were doing, especially that young woman. I really wish they would have given her some time and maybe like psychiatric ward or something, but I don't know. I have no idea, but all I know is that I know each of them are haunted by that every single day, and I hope that they are. So rest in peace again to our victim, and thank you, Dyer Trip, again for this very, very sad but interesting case coverage. Again, this is Boo. Thank you for watching my reaction. Stay tuned for more reactions coming up. Like this video, subscribe, of course, and more interesting content on the way. Okay. Bye.